screen clearly, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go. First Camtasia. Let me open Camtasia because the last one I did, Prism always make the video so worse. Okay, like this. Oh, we are good to go. Good to go, good to go, good to go, good to go, good to go. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. This is a Python for Data Science 12 weeks accelerator, and we have discussed about data types, and we've looked at the various control flows that Python provided for us. So today we are now going to be talking about the operators. Okay, sorry, yes, we've talked about operators in Python and the rest of them. So today we are now going to be talking about, we've discussed variable, data type, control flow. No, yeah, so control flow is what we are going to be discussing right now. So I've talked about data type, I've talked about the if statement. All right, so when we finish with this, that is when we can now continue to now talk about data structure. And then when we talk about control flow, that is where we talk about the if statement and the nested if statement. That when you are doing an if statement, you have a set of instructions that you want your computer to meet, or something should happen if a particular thing did not happen. All right, and this is very important, and I try to also explain in line with our personal with how we handle personal things. All right, and I said that when it comes to handling and what handling or telling people what to do, don't just assume they know what to do. The same thing is what I try to do with the if statement. Okay, so if you are sending somebody to buy something for you, don't just assume that this person should know what you want. You have to say it. And I also point out that we as programmers, there is a way we think. We don't think like the normal people. Okay, we think in terms of structure, we think in terms of um, system, we think in terms of um, um, process. All right, so if you are asking somebody to buy something for you and the person did not get what they you asked them to buy, should they get you what you should they get you anything that occurred to them? What if it is not what you like? Okay, so now the same thing also applicable when you want to ask somebody to do something for you. Okay, and it also boils back to us. If somebody asks you to go and buy something, the system thinking in you will always make you to ask about what if I did not see it. And in a situation where you are not even given room to ask, you tend to act according to what the person say. Take for example, it was a meme this thing I saw, where the wife asked him that he should go and buy something, and he didn't specifically tell the amount. He said just buy as much as you can, and the husband end up buying up to 10 carton of was it milk or so. And he said, you asked me to buy how much how many I can carry. And that was how um that thinking is boiled down. So as programmers, we don't just think, we think in terms of systems, we think in terms of how things should be done. All right, so, and this is why I have to explain this, because when you are dealing with if statements and the rest of them, you have to understand that you are not just writing for yourself. Okay, you are writing a program that follow instructions. So if that instruction is not there, if what you are expecting is not there, what should happen? So take for example, I'm saying that if users, okay, let's say we have a variable that is taking user, so we say user or username. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, sir.
All right, so
username equals.
okay, so if we say username is equals to John, for example, okay, and then we now want to check that this username is there. And we say if username is not equal to, so this is how to write your is not. If username is not equal to John, return back to login. So we can type like this. So username equal to John. If username is not equal to username, okay, like this. So, or we can even specify the exact value we are getting from the user. We can put it like this. So we can say go back to login like this. Okay, go back to login. So we can say, we can now call, let's say we have a login class, we can just call it, or we say let's print, so we just print go back to login. All right, go back, oh sorry, get away. So we can say go back to login. Okay, so this is how this if statement work. Now this will run, but nothing will happen. And I said that before something can happen in this code, you have to have a clause. You have to have a clause, just like saying go and buy me sugar. You cannot ask somebody to buy you sugar when you don't specify how much or how much you would like them to buy. Okay, so that alone go a long way to tell. All right, so we can now have our clause, and then in our clause we can say else. Okay, else we'll print login like this. Else print login. Okay, hope you understand what I'm doing. So we are saying that if a user is equal to John, we are having a variable that holds John as a user. If the username is not equal to John, we should print go back to login. And in a situation where the username is equal to John, you should go back to login. All right, then we can also specify in a situation where we say that if let's say we say if, all right, I want to add another clause, so I'll now add else if. So the else if is in Python is denoted with elif. Okay, so the else if tell Python that okay, this is what we want done. All right, so now we can check that if the spellings are not correct, or if we can add some other conditions. Okay, take for example, as I gave an example of sending somebody to buy something for you. So if you specify that okay, this thing you are going to buy, this is the amount you buy, and in a situation where you did not see this thing, buy this other thing for me. So that is where the elif comes in. So these clauses are very, very important, and that is why I took time to explain in a real world situation where you are giving instruction, or you are taking instruction. You must know how to what to manage, or to respond to whatever you are being asked to do. All right, okay, so I think the one I did in that code will go a long way to tell. The one I did in the code, sorry, in the video. All right, so let's not dwell here. I've discussed it in the code. So if we run this, for example, and I call Python and I say variable, oh sorry, we need to cd into intro, so we are outside of the file. So I'll do cd and do intro like this, and we're inside a file that holds our variable.py file. So now that we're inside the file that holds our variable.py file, we can now run Python and run variables dot py. Okay, and then we should see what get printed for us. Okay, so this is how we can use the if statement. So let us continue. Wait, this thing is taking time to run, but then let's wait for it. So while that is working, so I now said that we're now going to be talking about under this control. Okay, no such file or directory automobile.csv. Oh, there's a code running, sorry. So this is the one I used for the last Saturday class for data visualization. So I need to comment this out. Oh, damn it. I didn't know I did it inside this file. Okay. All right. So with that out of the way, let's continue. So now we're now going to be talking about the loop repetition. So now imagine that you are doing okay. So repetition comes in a situation where you want to write what, let me think of a real life situation now. So I want users to keep adding input, or I want to keep collecting input, and I don't want it to stop at a point, all right, until the user has entered all that I wanted them to. Now if you have ever filled a form, you will notice that users will be asked to enter their name, location, all the data they want, right? So instead of me to create variable name, variable image, so if I come here, sorry, so let me run this code again and let's leave here. So you can see it's telling us login. Why? Because this is not it. So let's leave here. So let's run with it. Fine. Okay. So but the full video will be available, right? Okay. All right. So I was saying that when you are collecting information from users, okay, you have to be sure that the information keeps coming. Okay, so the information is not one at a time. Okay, you cannot say you are collecting name one time and at another time you are doing another thing. No, it's not done. All right, so so repetition allow us to understand the how we collect information. So instead of me to say name, for example, if I say I'll come here and say name, enter your name. Okay, I'll say name equal to enter your name, right? Okay, and then I'll now come age. I'll now create another variable for age. So instead of me to keep repeating variables like this, I can use repetition, and that is where loops comes in. Okay, so loop simply means where you want to write your code so that you don't it keeps collecting the data that you want instead of creating too many variables. All right, I have no idea what's happening here, but then let's go. Okay, so now I want to collect users information, and for me to collect users information, I need to allow the user to keep giving me the information and will not stop at a point, right? So if I come here and I do something like this, I say, let's say X, no, let's start with name. So instead of me saying name, age, I'll just say user information. So let's create a variable called user information like this, user information, and then I'll say equal to, and then I'll now call the input tag. Okay, so please pay attention to some of the things I'm going to say here. So I'll call the input function, input function, and then I'll say enter your information. Okay, so at every point it's going to ask for the user information. So now there's going to be name, okay, age, and the rest. So instead of me creating a variable and I'll say input and then I say enter your information like this, your info. Let's stop here at info. Okay, instead of me to just do something like this, I can keep it, I can make it to just loop. Okay, so while the user information is not, so I can now say so let me loop through. Okay, so let's say I'm collecting names, for example, and what should I collect? What should I collect? Give me an idea. What should I collect? What information should we collect first? And then we will now loop over. Okay, let's say we are collecting information, right? So I want to loop inside that value. Okay, oh, what should I use to demo this? So that I will use this for while loop, but then oh, I can still collect value and loop. Okay, so we are going to ask users to enter 1 to 5, 1 to 5. So we'll say enter enter number like this, 1 to 5 like this. Now we want to now look through inside the value that the user is going to enter, 1 to 5, right? So we'll now write a for loop like this. So the first thing when you are writing your for loop is that you are going to tell Python that the keyword for, remember what I said when we started, the keyword for is telling Python that you want to perform what? Loop. So we say for what? For I here is a variable that is going to hold your value that you are going to be looping through. Okay, so we now say for I in user information. Okay, so you should print it. Okay, for I in user information, you should print I. Okay, you should print I like this, right? So this way what you are doing is you are trying to loop into the value that the user is bringing, but we are going to have issue with this. So let me run with this now. Please pay attention. That is why I say thinking has to come into whenever you are writing your what, your sequence, your loop. All right, thinking has to come into it, because how can you just be collecting user and looping through that value, whatever the user is coming? So there has to be a storage. That's why you have to understand database. We'll come to that, but I want you to know that there has to be a storage. So let's say we now enter 1 2 3 4 5 like this. Okay, and we hit enter. Now look at it, it's looping through them. Okay, it's looping through them, but we need to store this value in a place so that we'll be able to access it. Okay, we need to store this value in a place so that we'll be able to loop through, because you cannot loop through something that is not available. Something cannot just be coming and then well, it depends on what you are building. It depends on what you are building. All right, so if you don't have a mind of storing whatever the user is bringing, then you may not want to, right? Okay, then talking about input again, you must understand that whatever you collect from users must be, you must understand the data type you are collecting from users. So conversion has to take place when you are dealing with numbers, but everything that you are collecting from users must be in what? In their in their string format. Okay, whatever you are collecting from users should be in what? In string format. Okay, so like this, for example, let me quickly discuss that, then I will now set up that. So now take for example, I want to print whatever the user, I want to store whatever the user bring, right? So if I want to store it, I can create another variable and I'll call user, and then I'll say equal to, so let's say we are storing whatever the user bring inside the list. Okay, so we are storing whatever the user enter inside the list, so we can just put a square bracket like this. And then when we now print user, so when let's run the code and print user. Okay, so print user like this, and we put user. Okay, we print user like this, and then we run the code. So you can see that it's asking us to enter number, so I'll enter 1 2 2 3 4 5 like this, right? And I hit enter. So now the list is empty. Okay, the list is empty, so because nothing is there. So for us to now have the value, we need to pass in our user information inside the list. Okay, so we say user information like this, and let's do it again. Please, do you understand what I'm doing?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Frank, do you understand what I'm doing?
I'm following, but I will need to still go back through it, through the video.
Okay, because what we are doing here, we've not come to this, but I want you to understand that when you are collecting a value, you need a place to store that value to be able to manipulate it. All right, you need a place
Yes,
to store it so that you can manipulate the value that you are collecting. You cannot just collect a value that is not somewhere. All right, so when we say user information equals to input and we are asking enter your number 1 to 5, we need to store that value that we are collecting. So in this case, we are now storing that value inside a list, and I created a square bracket and passing the variable that is collecting that value and then assign it to this variable user. So when we now run the code and we print now, so let's run, you can see now, can you see? So the list that we now have has
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll come to list very shortly, but since we are on sequence, I want you to understand this first. And then now that we understand this, there's something I want you to also understand. So whatever you are getting from user, I said that it should be in their raw format. Okay, so if you are collecting an integer, it has to be, you have to make a conversion. For example, you have to convert whatever the user is bringing. Okay, and you can use so many ways. Like I said, what we do in programming is, as a software engineer, data analyst, whatever, is thinking, logic, understanding how to to structure ideas and processes. All right, so if we are collecting 1 to 5, for example, we can structure it in such a way that we convert whatever we are getting from user into an integer data type, because what we are collecting is number. So how do we do it? We can now do something like this. I can do something like this. So I can now call another variable. I will say, let me say number value. I'll call the variable number underscore value like this. Okay, right? And then I'll say equal to. Now I want to convert the user information, which is collecting the 1 to 5, right? So I'll now say integer. I'll call the integer data type and then pass in the variable that I want to pass in the variable that is collecting that value, and then bring it here. Okay, and pass it in here. So what am I doing here? I'm saying that whatever the user enters should be a number.
Okay.
And in a situation where I'm collecting name, age, address, for example, which we'll get to, I can convert that if user input equal to a string. Okay, I can tell the program that if what the user is entering is a string, it should store it. I mean, if what the user is entering is equal to so and no, maybe you
accept.
Yeah, you can specify what how you want to get it. So let's say you enter John, for example. You can say if the user information is equal to John, store it in name, and then you specify the data type, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm collecting 1 to 5, and then I'm converting that value I'm collecting into an integer data type. So this is how you can be able to make conversion. So conversion is very important, because you cannot assume that whatever the user entered is a correct thing. Okay, so users are not normal. Users of applications and softwares are not normal, and because they are not normal, they are bound to enter anything they like. Imagine somebody entering an ATM machine and he said, let me try this thing. And people are very funny. How will you go to a bank ATM and enter quite all right, they will use the other side of the ATM to test whether it will go. That's how dumb users are. So you must now begin to know how to handle them in your application, in whatever you are building. Is that point clear?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so if it is clear, let's continue. Now that I've said this, so now I want us to now begin to collect more than name. Okay, I mean more than number. So this time I'm going to collect information, and then we want to be specific on the information we collect, right? So now I can do something like this. Okay, so if I ask users to enter their information and I specify name, okay, I can be dropping it. Okay, I can store everything inside a list, because a list allow you to get a string, an integer, any data type at all. All right, and that's not what we are not discussing list for now. All right, so now I've talked about this conversion, so let's go back to it. Now I want to loop through. Okay, when we come to list, I'll discuss more of that. Now I want to loop through into inside the list. Remember, whatever the user is entering, I'm converting it to a list, and I want to loop through it. So now we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I want to now loop through it. So, and I said that for us to loop through, what we need to do is to call the for keyword, which tell Python that we want to perform a what? A loop. All right, so if we come here and we do something like for I in user information, okay, so here it will no longer be user information because that's not the variable. So the variable here is user. So for I in user, print I. So we are saying that loop into the user and print whatever value there. Now I don't want to say this from just theory aspect, and that's why you are seeing the code. So let me give you a real life scenario so that you can understand when you are looping. So when you are looping, look at it that you are in a, how do they call that game that they are running around and be giving batting? What's the name of that game?
Running around.
Yes, they will give batting to the next person, and the person will run to another meter. Being, how do they call that?
Run. Temple run.
No, that's game. I mean real life Olympic games that they will be running through tracks and then they handling the
relay.
Thank you. So now look at loop as a relay race. So you have to run a number of times before you can win. And in a situation where you are running with team, you have to hand over your baton to the next person who will continue from where you stop, abi?
Yes.
That is how loop works. So now look at it. I wish I get a drawing now. I need a whiteboard. Okay, I need a whiteboard. Okay, now I'm saying that for whatever value the user enter is 1 to 5, abi? So for the first time, he will look through the entire user list and find 1. He will give that 1 to I. He will loop again and go back again, and then he will now see 2 and give that 2 to I. He will now loop again and find out that, oh, there is 3 more. He will now give that 3 to I. And then he will now loop again. It will continue looping from the beginning to the end, okay, until there is no value inside the list again. All right, so that is how loop works. Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, I understand.
If you understand, what did I say?
You said the numbers, the user information will look through for I in user.
Okay.
You pick the numbers one by one, 1, 2, 3, and store it in the I
variable.
The variable I. That it will look through the list.
Okay.
And store all the list in variable called I. Okay.
So it will stop the moment. There is nothing else in the list again. So if, for example, we have give me a name. Let's say we have Damilola, for example. Let's say n, and then I'll say equal to Damilola, right? Like this. So get this. Okay, I'll say Dami. Okay, let's just leave it as Dami or Dami. Let's say Damilola, right? Lola like this. Okay, now this is a string. Okay, now I want to look through this string and so that I will get each of the letters in this string. So how do I do it? I'll now do for I in the variable that is holding the name is n, so I will say n and then I'll look through it. Okay, so I'm using this so that you understand the sequence. Okay, the sequence when it comes to loop. So now I'll run it again like this. And then, oh sorry, still asking me for numbers. All right. Now look at how he's printing. It is printing Damilola. Are you seeing? So you will look for the first time and see D and passing on to the variable I. He will loop again and see A and passing on to the variable I. He will loop again and see M and passing on to the variable I. He will loop again and passing on to the variable to I. And he will continue until there is nothing to loop again. And then that is when this print will now work. Do you understand?
Yes. Does it pass a space too?
Does it? Yes. So you can look at it now. It provided a space. So the space. So if we are looking for the length, for example, let's say we are looking at, please, this is necessary. So just let me do it. Okay. So if I pass it length and then I pass in the n variable and then let's print it. Okay, sorry, it's not length, it's length. Okay, like this. Okay, and then let's run it. And oh, damn it, I don't want it to print right now. Where is that that user information? So this one will keep prompting because it's a prompt. So let's cancel it and run again. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, like this. The user information is not defined. Where are you seeing that one again? Where? Okay, sorry, because I've commented that one out, it's not seeing it. So let's comment you out too. Okay, so let's run it again. Okay, now look at the length that is giving us. It's giving us that, it's telling us that the length the length of the values that we have here is 10. So if we come here, for example, look at D is 1.
1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, it's 10.
Okay, so the len method will not return the white spaces. Okay, but we'll get to that some as we proceed. But you must know that the white spaces is not being ignored. All right, it's not being ignored. Okay, we'll come to that when I discuss strip. I think I discussed strip in the method when I was discussing data type. You saw it, right? So you can go back to that video to understand how this white spaces work. So I don't spend time here. Okay, so this is how you can loop through. Okay, so and then let me explain what we mean, what we use index. All right, you must understand index because you can't understand loop without understanding where the loop is starting from and where it's ending. Okay, so what is index? Think of an index like when you want to open to a chapter of a book. Let's say you want to open to a chapter 1 of a book. That chapter 1 has a chapter number. So for you to now open your book to chapter 1, you need to go to the index number. So the index number is the location of the value. So if you want to print a value in a list or in any data structure, you must understand where it is starting from. Okay, so where is it starting from, where is it ending? So that way you'll be able to work on your program. Okay, so now in Python, the index always start from index 0. Are you with me? The index is always starting from 0, while on other data types, okay, I mean under programming languages like Java, it starts from 0. Okay, It always start from index 0. Sorry, index 1. Java start from index 1, Python start from index 0. So you must understand their index, because you cannot loop through a value or understand loop if you don't understand where the loop is starting from. So the learn method will show you the value, but originally it is 9. So we have D, A, M, M, Y, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so but when you are looping through, the index is very, very important. Is that point clear?
Yes.
All right, so if that point is clear, let's continue. So now what I want us to do now is okay, so this is how to loop. Okay, now I have said that this is a keyword. The for loop tells Python that you want to perform a for loop. The I here is a variable. The in here, what operator is this? If you watch the video, what operator is the in operator? Yes?
Assignment operator.
No, Kai. This cannot be assignment operator. What operator is this? Talk to me, talk to me. What operator is the in operator? The in operator is
Logical.
no, this is the membership operator.
Membership.
Okay, so and then you use membership when you are talking about list. Okay, so here we are saying that for I in n, okay, so the in operator is used to check for the value inside whatever we are specifying. Okay, now a string is an object. That is why we are able to loop through it. What? A string is an object. That is why we are able to loop through it. Okay, so if you are looping through, you cannot come here and say you want to loop through 5. You are going to run into an error. Let's do it. You see, he said int object is not iterable. Int object is not iterable. So you cannot iterate over a number. You cannot iterate over a what? A number. So you can only iterate over an object. So a list is an object. A dictionary is an object. A string is an object. So object is what you can iterate over. Yes, you have question? Shoot me.
Like a variable too is an object?
No. A variable is a container that holds value. A string is an object. That's what I said. Do you understand?
Yes.
Wait, why did you ask?
Is it for I in 5? Is it this 5 is an integer?
Yes, 5 is it's not
it cannot be made a variable.
Yes. Okay, even if you assign a variable to it, let's say we assign a variable, let's say x equal to 5. Okay, even if we assign a variable to it and we say x equal to 5 like this, okay, and then we replace x here with 5, we replace 5 with x and we loop through, okay, you will run into an error because you are dealing with a type error. Int object is not iterable. So you cannot loop through over an integer. Always note that you can only loop through an object. So your string is an object, your dictionary is an object, your list set their object. We'll get to that very soon. Okay, but understand this, that you cannot loop through a number. Is that point clear?
Yes.
All right. So now, if you should support me to get a board, I need a board. Okay, because all of this, if I'm doing it in the board, I can draw image so that you can drive home the point better. Okay, please, for those of you that are watching, this person has gone again. You come back. All right. So now this point is clear. Mr. Frank, are you with me? Do you understand? Any question? Can I hear from you?
Let's go on.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm recording for you. So please always go back to it, and please don't hesitate to always ask me question. Don't assume. Okay? Don't assume. The more you ask, yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For those of you watching me, I am grateful. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate. All right. Okay. All right. Now let's go. So now I've been able to explain the for loop, and I said that it's a sequence, and because it's a sequence, it will iterate. It will go over it. Oh, I think I can even show my face so that you can see the demonstration of my hand. Maybe that will. Yes. Let me open my image. Ṣé o ti rí mi báyìí? Can you see me?
No, not yet.
Okay. Yes. You can see me now. Right?
No.
You are not seeing my handsome face. Oh, it's too dark.
We can see you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
How about now? Think it's better. Okay. So I was saying that a loop will go one time. Remember, we have 5 values. So it will go to index 1, index 0, you loop it. You go to index 1, you loop it. You go to index 2, you loop. You continue until there is no other value that to be looped again. That is when the instruction you define under it will work. All right. So this is how a loop works. And I said that loop is you use your loop in sequence in an object. Okay. You cannot loop through a number. You must loop through what? A sequence. All right. You
okay,
must.
But now can we look through like 1 to 5?
Yes.
Like maybe range.
Okay, so like you want to so if we now say x now is equals to 1 2 3 4 5 like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this.
Yes.
Okay, so the code is between us, so let's run it.
No, for I in X.
For I in okay, sorry, yes. For I in X. So and let's run it. So yes, you will have it. Okay, you will have it. But don't say you are doing it inside a single number. All right? So a sequence. Don't forget that keyword. Sequence. Okay? Don't forget that keyword. All right. Now, if we decide to print this, what's that? Hope it's not Google telling me time is up. 15 minutes. Please, let me share you a new link, or let's wait. So in case we got caught up, I will share a new link and you can join me. All right? Okay. Having finished with that, can we continue now? Having explained that point, can we continue?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And remember that because you are dealing with a loop, you can perform other operations inside your loop. Okay? So it's not only what is it called? Only a print that you can do. You can say that if n is Damilola, so if we say for I in n in x, right? So let's change it to n, for example. Let's change it to n, and then we'll now come here and say for I in n, then we'll now do something like this. We'll now perform other operation. Maybe you want to add number, you want to call an object to do something. You can perform everything inside your loop. Okay? So inside your loop, once the loop cycle is complete, that operation will happen. Okay? So you must know what you are doing. So all boils down to what is your requirement. What is the requirement? So in software engineering, let me quickly say this. In software engineering, we have what we call 6 life cycle or 7 life cycle of software engineering. Now, this 7 cycle of software engineering helps you to understand, okay, So this seven life cycle of software engineering is what makes you to understand how to build better from ideation to a viable product. So if, for example, for the first phase of every application or software you are building is the user requirement gathering. So this is where you know the specification of what you are building, who you are building for, and every other requirement. Okay, so now having explained that, so for you, for whatever code you are writing, any line of code you are writing, you must now begin to understand what? Understand the requirement. So if you are performing anything inside your loop, it should be based on the requirement. I hope that point is clear.
Yes.
Okay, if it is clear, let's continue. Now I've been able to explain for loop. The second thing I will explain here is while loop. May I also let you know that there are two types of loop in Python. Okay? There are two types of what? Loop in Python. The while loop and the for loop. Unlike other programming languages like Java that has like the rest 2 or 3. Yeah, 3. Okay, JavaScript and the likes, but Python only has 2. Okay, JavaScript has do while loop, Java has do while loop, but Python only has what? While loop and for loop. Okay, all right, so can we continue?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Your response makes me to keep going. So what is while loop? You do a while loop in a situation where you want to maintain can I say steps? All right, let's not say that. Okay, so you do while loop in a situation where you want for something to keep continuing until something happens. You are okay, you want somebody to be you are okay. There's an example I normally cite to my students, so I will cite it here. When you lodge into a hotel and the hotel has let's say 500 rooms and you are in room 309. Okay, you are in the room assigned to you is 309. So for you to get into room 309, what do you need to do? You first need to what? To know the room number. Okay, so if you are now going to look through the entire room for you to go to room 309, you will have to do what we call, you can do so many things, but one of the things I want to use as an example here is the while loop. So you can say that while the room number is not equal to 309, it should keep looping. Do you understand what I just said?
309.
Yes. So if the room number, the total room in that hotel is, let's say, 500, and you want to go to room 309, you have to loop through. And I say that you can use while loop and say while the room number is not equal to 309, keep looping. Are you with me? So that is how while loop works. And also you can write a program that if the user did not click exit or exit, is it exit? It's exit, yes. So if the user did not click exit or did not point to exit, keep collecting user data. The program should keep running. So that is how to use while loop. And this is very important. When you want to do error log, for example, you must understand it. So let's do it. Let's write the code. So the first thing we need to do is to write our while loop. So, okay, so let me leave the for loop here. Or let's continue. Now, so let's use the room. So let's say we'll call the hotel. We'll call hotel and then we'll create a list of hotel room number like this. So we say hotel underscore room number. Let's say hotel or whatever. Let me leave it at hotel. Then we'll say we'll now create a list and we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? 13, 14. Let's keep going, please. And then 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And then you can keep it going. Now, how do we now use while loop here? Let's use while loop. Okay, what just happened? Okay, so let's use while loop here. So we are now going to write a while loop that will say if the room number is not equal to 20, keep looping. Okay, and there are things you need to understand here. Please pay attention. So I can say while hotel, or I will say room number. Let's have a variable that say room number, room underscore num like this, and we'll say equal to 19 or 20. Let's make it 19, and then we say while room number is not equal to 19 like this. Oh, sorry. While hotel is not equal to room number. Okay, so we want to keep printing. So print. So now we want to say that while the hotel is not equal to the room number, okay, keep searching. All right, so we can just say print. Okay, so let's say print, and then
hotel.
Yeah, let's say print hotel. Okay, like this. Okay, and let's run the code.
Small h.
Yeah,
Small h for the hotel.
oh no, so here we are not printing the variable, we are printing we are not using the variable. It's just text. It's a string. It is the output. Okay, all right. So now
maybe we should make another output like keep searching or anything so that it won't be confusing.
okay, okay, all right. Okay, so we can say keep. So now this is where it gets tricky. Okay, so this thing here will continue keep session. Let's are you seeing? So keep session like this. Now this will keep printing us keep session. So if we run it, it will keep saying keep session. As you can see, it's still looping. Oh, so our code is not correct yet. So we need to stop it quickly. So for you to stop it, move it. All right, so you must know. Okay, so if you leave it like this, the laptop memory will crash. The laptop memory.
How do you stop it?
I do Ctrl+C to cancel it. Okay, so you must know that your loop must not go into infinite loop. So always avoid infinite loop. And for us to avoid the infinite loop, we need to modify our code. Okay, so what do? We now need to put something. Okay, we now need to say something here. So instead of saying hotel is not equal to number, we can say something like if the hotel is less than 20. No, sorry, greater than 20. So we can say greater than or equal to 20 like this. No, let's leave it at greater than or equal to 20. Will make sure that it remains at 20. So we can say greater than or equal to 20. So this is why your this thing that we learned earlier, what's the name? Operators are very important. Okay, so we can do something like this. um I can call hotel and then provide the index. Okay, let's provide the index so that it will stop at the index. So this is, how many values do we even have here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21. So that means we have 0. So we have 20 values, 20 here by using the index, right? Okay, so now we want to make sure that it stop at 20. Okay, so we can say while hotel is greater than, we can specify the index that we want. So we can say call the hotel variable and then pass the index. So the index is what? Is 20. Okay, like this. Are you seeing what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay.
That's 10.
Yes. So you use this in a situation where you want to get the index of your list. Okay. So when we come to list data structure, I will explain more. Okay, but please just pay attention to what I want to do here. So I want to make sure that the value it will stop, okay, should be something like this. Okay. So while the hotel is greater than, and then I'm not specifying the index, it will stop. So let's run the code and see what happened. Okay. Oh, it's not supported between integer and list. Thank God. So now, don't you ever compare a list, yes, a list with an integer. That's one. Number two, don't compare a string with an integer. I say it again. Don't compare a list. Don't try to what to greater than, equal to is a comparison operators. So don't use those compare operators when you are comparing list and integer. Don't compare list and integer when list and a string also. These are different data types, so it won't work. All right. So we can say, let's use assignment operator here. So while it's not equal to 10, like this. I hope I'm correct here. Yeah. So this will loop and stop. It's not equal to 10, so it will keep looping. It's still looping. All right. So this will keep looping. So we are experiencing infinite loop right now. So let me stop it. Okay. Let me look for a way we can put a condition here. So while hotel is not equal to hotel, then specify the index. While, what if I say equals to 5? No, I need the index. Okay, while hotel is not equal to or is less than. No, I can't use integer list here. Okay, what should I do here? If it is input, now I can say that, okay, let's make it that when user enter exit, it will stop. Okay. Or let's go back to the example we were using before where we are collecting user information. Okay. So if we say that this should work with the index, but I don't know why it's returning infinite loop. Okay. All right. I now know why. So when you are doing your while loop, it is very, very important. So I just remembered something. So your while loop need a control. Okay? Your while loop need what? A control. So for you to now control your while loop, you will need a way to control how it's respond. Jesus, my battery is not plugged. Sorry, let me quickly plug my battery. Sorry, please. Okay. While I think this need to put a condition there. Yeah, I need to put a condition. So the code I wrote is correct. Okay. Yes, it's correct. So what I need to do here is control. So when you are writing your while loop, you need to add a control. So we call it incremental. So like this, I can call the hotel. Let me write it and then I can pick later hotel. And then I'll say equal to plus equal to 1. What does this mean? So that at every loop, it will add 1 to it. This is a way of making sure that the loop does not go into infinite loop. Okay, so let's run the code again. Int object is not iterable. Where are you? Int object is not iterable. Okay, yes. So I should be able to increase this now. So why are you giving me? Oh yes, I need to create a variable that controls. But I already have. Oh my, why is it thinking red click? Maybe because I want to make this too because. But then let's go. Okay, so let's say we call the hotel like this. Experiment in here. So let's see the result. And then we pass in 1 here. I think that should do. Or 0. 0 is 1, right? So 0. So let's run it. Okay. Okay. I think something is wrong here. So let me just go back to the basics. I want to make it too big. Okay, so let me go back to the basics. So take for example that we want to count a number from 5 to 10, for example. So if we say, so let's say we have a number, I will call it number underscore or number count like this, and then I will assign 0 to it, and then I want to do a while loop, and I say while number count number underscore count, okay, is less than 5, for example, or 6, and then I want to print count. Okay, I want to print count like this, count. Okay, and then I'll put a space, so that will give me the number of time it has looped through. Then I'll now add the control. So I'll now do number underscore count like this, number underscore count, and then equal to 1 like this. Okay, so this way it should be able to give us Let's run this code and see. Aha. So now, for us to have the numbers, so I'll do something like this. I'll call count variable. Let's format it. Remember our format method, so I'll format it and call the count variable so that it will now give us the figure of the value that is being, the number of times it has been counted, so number count, and let's run it. Okay, so now you can see how many times it is counting. So while 6 is less than 0, remember this is 0, it should keep counting until there is nothing else. Okay, so we have count 0 here, so it's starting from index 0 to index 5, but meanwhile we have 6 here. So, and that is why I first of all explain what index means. Okay, because for you to look through any value, you must know the index. All right, so it's starting from index 0 and ending at index 5. If it is 7, it will end at index 6. Okay, so this is how you can look through using while loop. This is very important. So if I remove this, it will run into infinite loop, even though our code is correct, like this. Okay, so we can cancel it. All right, please, are you with me? Do you understand what I'm doing? Hello? Jesus. Hello, YouTubers. How are we doing? Hello, YouTubers. Hello, YouTubers. Hello, my dear YouTuber. How are you doing? Okay, so if you are interested in the class, if you are interested in this class, the link is available. If you are from the foreign, you can get the course. So yeah, you can get a link to the course and then you can get my course. Do you know I did not know that you people have gone? None of you drop message. It's not fair. Hello?
You were still talking.
I was still talking.
The meeting just ended. Just
Okay. All right. So let's continue. Mr. Frank, you will get the recording. Okay. Another issue. Hello, can you hear me? Laptop is going off. My laptop is going off. I should be able to comment, right? Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much.